Hi guys, Mr. Newmobile here. OnePlus 8T hand on. Please subscribe followed by the bell. You can also keep up on Facebook, Twitter by clicking the links in the description. The OnePlus 8T will be OnePlus's next major release, to be announced on October 14th. This follows OnePlus's usual pattern of phone releases, put out a major new version in the spring, followed by the full release of an interim update, marked with a T in their name. OnePlus has brought out a T-series phone, or phones, every year since 2016, and we're interested to see how it manages to improve on the excellent OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro, which have fast become two of our favorite smartphones. Things might be a little different this year now that we have the mid-range OnePlus Nord joining the 8 series in the company's phone lineup, but we'd still like to see OnePlus deliver a compelling OnePlus 8T, so it can firmly establish itself as one of the top Android phone makers within every price range. So while the clock runs down until launch day, we've been looking for news and rumors about what we can expect to see. The OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro are a pair of high-quality devices lists, but there are still areas where they could improve. We'd love to see some adjustments to the phone's photo capturing capabilities, and for the OnePlus 8 in particular to gain some of its more expensive siblings features, making it a better value proposition. OnePlus has teased the OnePlus 8's build quality, demonstrating how it could beat the Samsung Galaxy S20 Fe. A pair of leaks have revealed the OnePlus 8T's release date, cameras and its overall size. OnePlus is running a special launch event where you'll be able to watch the October 14 launch event, view a virtual unboxing, and play games that enter you in a chance to win the device. OnePlus has two flagship rollouts per year, one in the spring and then another one 6 months later when it releases the T variant on its earlier phones. That's what happened a year ago when the OnePlus 7T and OnePlus 7T Pro showed up in October after a spring release for the OnePlus 7 lineup. OnePlus is following suit this year, having announced a launch event on October 14th. This is a bit different from last year, where it held two separate fall events, one for the 7T and one for the 7T Pro. Around the world in April, the OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro start at $699, £599, and $899, £799, respectively. This gets you 8GB RAM and 128GB storage on both phones, but you can pay $799, £699, or $999, £900 to bump it up to 12GB RAM and 256GB. The T versions of OnePlus's flagships tend to cost a little more than the original phones they're based on, so expect potential prices of $749, £649, and $949, £849 for the OnePlus 8T and OnePlus 8T Pro respectively. That's why we're a little bit dubious about a new OnePlus 8T pricing rumor, suggesting a €599 price for the phone. That would cover the 8GB 128GB version, with a 256GB model costing €699. Unlike previous years, there won't be a McLaren edition of the Pro model this go-around. Partnership with McLaren has ended amicably at its scheduled conclusion, meaning you won't see any more McLaren-branded OnePlus handsets for the foreseeable future. With recent releases, OnePlus has looked to broaden the availability of its phones after years of only selling the devices unlocked through its website. The OnePlus 6T was the first OnePlus phone offered via T-Mobile 2 years ago, and with the OnePlus 8, Verizon joined the mix of carriers selling OnePlus devices. You'd expect those carriers to continue selling any future OnePlus phones, including the OnePlus 8T, though we've yet to hear any rumors about those companies' plans. Should Verizon sell the OnePlus 8T, we'd imagine it could be a similar situation to what Big Red did with the OnePlus 8. There's a separate Verizon-only model of the OnePlus 8 specifically designed to work with the carrier's Wave-based 5G network. OnePlus has released a pricier Pro version to go with its standard flagship. That's not happening with the OnePlus 8T. OnePlus has now confirmed that there won't be a OnePlus 8T Pro model. We first got an inkling that the Pro wouldn't debut when leaker Max J's 8T Pro's codename to suggest that the phone won't appear this fall. It's not really surprising that OnePlus has dropped plans for a Pro model this time around. The success of the OnePlus Nord has reminded the phone maker that people turn to OnePlus for affordable feature-packed handsets. It's possible a Pro version with a higher price doesn't appeal to that mindset. It sounds like the OnePlus 8 Pro will remain in the company's lineup for those who still want a high-end phone. It's unclear what will happen to the OnePlus 8 after the OnePlus 8T launches. With the OnePlus 8 and 8 Pro, OnePlus locked the various colors of its handsets to different locales and versions. For example, in the UK, you can only get the 8GB 128GB versions of the OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro in Onyx Black, with the 12GB 256GB versions only coming in Glacial Green. Similarly, the ultramarine blue and interstellar glow editions of the phone, arguably the most handsome, are only available in the US on the 8 Pro and 8, respectively. OnePlus should allow users to pick their preferred color on any version in any country with the 8T, and maybe add a couple of new choices for good measure. As for the actual shape of the phone in the OnePlus 8T, however, a drawing. A phone more in line with the OnePlus Nord's look, with flat edges. The render is reportedly based on internal schematics. OnePlus version of Android 11 developer Beta 4 showed a glyph representing the OnePlus 8T. Unsurprisingly, it looks a lot like the OnePlus 8. The standard OnePlus 8 uses a 6.55-inch FHD OLED display that has a 90Hz refresh rate. The OnePlus 8 Pro has a 6.78-inch QHD OLED panel capable of an even faster 120Hz refresh rate. When the OnePlus 7T and OnePlus 7T Pro appeared last year, there was no change from the original OnePlus 7 Pro's display, but the 7T gained the same 90Hz refresh rate as the Pro model. That it will lift the 8T's refresh rate to 120Hz, keeping with the cadence established earlier, and making the cheaper OnePlus model more competitive against its rivals. Currently, the OnePlus 8 uses a 48MP main camera, 16MP ultra-wide camera and a 2MP macro camera. Meanwhile, the 8 Pro has a 48MP main camera, an 8M color filter camera. The standard OnePlus 8 doesn't have a telephoto camera, and adding one on would really help round out the experience. That may not happen with the 8T, at least according to Pressababa's specs. That site expects the 48MP main camera and 16MP ultra-wide shooter to return, with the macro camera boosted to a 5MP sensor. A 2MP portrait sensor is also anticipated for the OnePlus 8T. The only thing really missing from the OnePlus 8 Pro's photography arsenal is more megapixels or better post-processing. For example, the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus uses a 64MP telephoto camera, while phones like the iPhone 11 Pro and the Google Pixel 4 have excellent software that allow their smaller sensors to still produce great shots. OnePlus is stuck in the middle of these two and should try to pick one direction to focus on in order to up its photo game. Fortunately, it seems OnePlus is aware it needs to step up its computational photography game too. According to a report from XDA developers based on a forum of OnePlus users, the phone maker is looking to eliminate the HD, also wants to improve the user experience for the auto exposure lock feature and continue to optimize post-processing. We're hoping some of these changes find their way into the OnePlus 8T. All versions of the OnePlus 8 use the Snapdragon 865 chipset, the gold standard for Android flagship performance this year. Last year, the OnePlus 7T series was able to benefit from Qualcomm releasing a Snapdragon 855 Plus, an enhanced version of the original 855 CPU that provided a performance boost to the company's T phones. Although there was some uncertainty about whether Qualcomm would release a Snapdragon 865 Plus, the upgraded chip was revealed in early July. Therefore, we'd be surprised if OnePlus didn't take the opportunity to give the 8T series the better processing power that this offers, since sticking with the basic 865, particularly when the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 series uses the 865 Plus, would be leaving essentially free performance on the table. Indeed, Pressababa says that the OnePlus 8T will use a We don't expect the RAM in the OnePlus 8T to go higher than 12GB. But it would be good if this was offered as standard, instead of the 8GB option that both the entry-level OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro come with. The listing shows a OnePlus device with an unknown model number, running a Snapdragon 865 or 865 Plus with 8GB RAM, and using Android 11 as its operating system. The results are surprisingly similar to the current OnePlus 8, but hopefully this is because OnePlus is still working to squeeze all the power it can out of the Qualcomm-made chipset. That is it guys, please subscribe, like